everyone, and welcome to episode 29 of the Hall of Gamers podcast. This week, I'm joined as ever by my lovely hosts, Cameron.
Hey.
And Charlotte.
Hello.
And our special guest for this week is Keo. How you doing, mate?
Good.
Benjamin Button himself.
Benjamin Button. Oh my god.
Cameron, you haven't even seen that movie. What are you talking about? Yeah, see? You know.
So you had to think about it. If he has to think about it, he's never seen it.
No, he's never seen it. He's like, oh, is that the one
Never
with...
seen it.
It's like, is that the one with the
They
guy
age
starting...
backwards.
Is that the one where... Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, exactly. Oh my
That's the
god.
guy who
nailed
gets
it.
eaten by the lion. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
that'll be me,
yeah.
for sure.
That's it, yeah.
Tom
That's, yeah.
Disco. I've seen movies. I've watched Scott Pilgrim like 10 times. And nothing else.
No, so, I mean, like...
Did you take any tips from that movie? At all?
Wow, okay.
All right.
Maybe
Well,
something
I was going to say it's a fantastic start to the episode. We're recording this a little early because we've got a fair amount on this weekend. So this is we're doing this on a Wednesday, so we don't have all the hottest news off the press, but we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about. But first, we're going to transition us to a song of the week. Take it away, Cameron. Every time I go online, you know I gotta play more. Every time I try to find a new game to work on, I can feel the hours fly till my brain gets sore. And tonight I'm gonna get it done. My gaming habits lead to late nights playing for more, doing the same grind until I get bored, swearing this is the last boost, but it's probably not. I got so much more to boost, to choose to boost. My gaming habits lead to tired eyes drifting away. I know I lose so much more sleep every day. Yeah, I'm looking for a quick game, but I can't escape. Nothing happens but the boost, the grind, the boost. My gaming habits, what I choose.
It's really eating me up. I don't know if the one line I know of the song is the song title, and I definitely don't know who sings it.
Okay.
But it is recent.
It is, yes.
I 100% know it.
Yeah, it's a very recent song, or relatively recent.
I've been listening to it
wanna-
a lot.
I want to
Yeah,
take a
Charles
step
Been in
Down.
party chats with me. You would have heard me singing
Yep.
along to it.
Yep,
you
Alison
sing
has
everything?
no place. That's true, yeah. But it...
Is it Conversations with a Stranger?
No, it isn't. But
that
that
is-
is a
No,
line.
that is a line
from
in
the
the
song.
song.
That is a line
It's
from
a
the
line.
That
song,
is the
yeah.
one line that I remember the song.
There is someone in chat that knows it.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Keo, do you have any idea what it is?
I don't actually. I only know things from the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah, see, me too. But Cameron keeps complaining every episode that I
We
do
don't
stuff
go
that he's
recent.
never heard of before he was born or something.
We go 2000 to 2010.
Shit,
Yes.
I'm going to run out of songs, especially ones that I can sing. I can,
I mean,
you know,
like, I'm just living for the days where you sing some Lady Gaga and...
But it's tricky to get it with the lyrics. You have to get the right song with the right lyrics that you can change. But
Yeah.
that song was Bad Habits by Ed Sheeran.
yes, it is.
Yep.
Well done.
I only know Ed
Good.
Sheeran from Game of Thrones, so...
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, fair. That's fair. I
See,
didn't-
this is the thing. If you said, like, Lego House, if you said, what is it, The A-Team, any of those?
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know anything
His
about
first
it.
album.
I don't know anything about Ed Sheeran. I've never listened to any of his songs.
He's singing...
Rupert
fucking-
Grint.
Yeah, Rupert
Ronald
Grint. That's
Weasley. Yeah. But
I
that's
know
Lego.
Lego House, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
that that he did a song with Eminem on his latest album, which was actually an okay song.
Cool.
It was alright. It wasn't great, but anyway, good job, guys. I was actually pretty happy with how that one turned out, especially considering I only did it an hour ago.
I mean, I wasn't going to get it, but I knew what the song was.
I guess that's something, right?
So-
You've at
yeah.
least heard the song.
Look, we got halfway. I knew what the song was. I just didn't know what the song was called.
We're slowly
or
improving your
who
education.
sang it. So I don't know if that counts as halfway, Cameron. I think that's...
And you got a lyric, not the title.
Yeah, so I'm not...
But
not
people all the time, like, hum songs that they
Yeah.
don't know the lyrics to.
I mean, Alison sings
true.
songs she doesn't know the lyrics to, and then I have to correct her. Oh, here we go. She's going to type in the chat now. we're speaking of which, we're also
On
doing this
Misheard
live.
lyrics episode.
Yep, every
Yeah,
time.
there's like 2 different people in this group now that are going to be murdered in their sleep.
Yeah, exactly. So we're speaking of the chat. We do this live on Twitch every week. Hall Gamers Pod is the place to come check us out. You can come see the recording, get all the bits where I can't cut them out because they're live. When Cameron says something just incredibly offensive, and we just have to cut the technical difficulties. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm sure it will. Or if for some reason you only listen to the audio, which I don't know why, you're missing out on our beautiful faces. But with that out of the way, let's have a bit of a chat with Keo.
Yeah. Hey, what do you want to know?
What do you do? Who are you? What's going on? What have you been up to?
For those that don't know, I've been around in gaming retail and stuff like that for a very, very long time. So I know the in and outs of the front lines, basically, so selling consoles, wheeling and dealing, the extra warranties and things like that, all the pretty stuff that goes along with that. So, but anyway, yeah. So I've seen like 2 generations of consoles, basically. So it's been really, really good. Back knowledge.
Are you the reason my 7-year-old can't get a copy of Grand Theft Auto 5?
Actually, I do remember telling parents when we got the R18 in Australia, like descriptive sections of games to tell them to not buy things for their children. I think just before the R18 came about, and then it came about and it didn't make a difference. So
Right.
No. Not at all.
It was like, oh, my 7-year-old's mature. They can go and pick up a prostitute and murder them and get their money back, and then they'll probably play GTA and do the same thing. So it's like, I guess games imitate life. But
I recently played GTA 4 lately, and you can't see anything in that game anyway, even on the Series X. So it doesn't matter.
That's true.
You're basically playing it drunk without drinking. So
fair. That's actually playing the 360 version before they shut that down. Was like, man, this is definitely a game from 2013. That was incredibly rough. You're driving around, things are popping in, people lagging all over the place, hackers everywhere. It was a good time though. All right, well, what do you like to play? Keo, tell us a little about your gaming habits and all that sort of stuff.
So I do spend most of my time with like shooters, I guess, and multiplayer stuff. So I spend a lot of time just random multiplayer shit, really. So most of my games, the single player story's gone completely unfinished. But then I've just just jump in and dabble in all the new. If there's achievements in a new online game, I'm probably trying it out. So stuff like that, which we can talk about Crossfire later. But anyway,
I was gonna say that's probably not the best example.
But yeah, so pretty much shooters and racing games. So I spent a lot of time with racing games as well. So I don't mind. They're just chill. So but yeah, like stuff like Destiny, things like that. Like I jump in and did all the multiplayer stuff without needing to, find boosting sessions for it because I was just happy to play it. But yeah. So it's a problem being in Australia when there are games that you want to play that you can't play because the Xbox servers just do not connect between each other. So, if they should have never put in Australian servers because I want to connect to the American people,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, stuff like that.
I was going to say, what would be some of your like favorite completions?
I've talked about this a lot in the past, but the Division series is definitely the ones that I always go back to. So, which I was recently playing with
recent
Matt,
hosts get carried through.
Oh no! Come on, that's no. Whoa. Okay, let's carry is
look.
Come on,
Cameron,
I mean, shoot people.
Look, the reason I get Key on the podcast is for the truth to come out. Yeah,
my carries do not discriminate. I'll carry you through that if you want to start the game, but we have to see it through, right? So.
Keo was very kindly, as I mentioned on the podcast, that he helped me get through the last achievement I needed for the Division to do 100 items out of survival, which is, if you're starting from scratch, it's about 16, 17 runs. So we did about 15 of them, 15 or 16 that went pretty well, and we had a few that didn't go so well, but we got there in the end, and I greatly appreciate it. And Keo was definitely our navigator. He knew where we were going. But I still had to shoot just as many people as he did, all right? I don't want to hear it. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I can't
What
say
about
who
Resident
went
Evil
down
5?
more.
Well, okay, actually, we will get to
Pick me
that.
up, I think, more times.
Yeah, we will get to that. All right, well, maybe we're going to get into the news. Cameron, what have you got for us this week?
In terms of games that have, I feel like saying that we thought were dead.
I was going to
Still
rip
on
from
the
the dead.
nose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Windows Central
Won't
put
stay
an
dead.
article saying that Dead Island 2 is apparently still in the works and teased for a possible early 2023 release. So first off, I want to see your reactions and go like, is anybody?
Does anyone give a shit at this point?
Look, it's been through a lot of devs. Deep Silver, just I don't know. They're always cycling their studios around trying to find the right one for the right project. I think they've landed properly with the guys that did Homefront Revolution, so Dambuster, because a lot of the systems in behind it, like the Homefront stuff is really light on crafting and stuff like that, but there's a lot of mechanics like that just work a lot better. And I logged into Dead Island today just to kind of check it out, and oh my god, the connections and the controls and stuff like that just have gone worlds, like into Dying Light and stuff like the stuff that Techland's doing now is great. It will be definitely a different feeling game. So it's not going to be, because it's been through like 4 different devs. So if they're not starting from scratch again, then we'll like.
I'm particularly interested to see how well it actually holds up against Dying Light 2. Because
was always the thing, right? Techland went off and they were like, "Oh no, we're going to go off and do our new same thing with Parkour," and everyone was like, "This game's amazing!" Like, how did you go from Dead Island, which was a total trash fire, to this?
Well, Dying Light has one of the best mobility systems of that kind of game out there, in my opinion. It's just that it doesn't have a good story.
Yeah,
I can say that for 1 and 2.
They just have to stick with, I think, the on the ground like crafting stuff and just kind of like putting bits together and really flesh that out. And I'm sure if they build that into a system, they could put that back into Homefront or do whatever they want with it. If they just get things working, they can continue doing those games. So,
I know. Are you interested in picking it up and playing it, or?
I don't know. It'll probably have co-op, so Charlotte and I might jump into it and maybe we'll do a thing. Like that's the only reason to play the original Dead Rising, right? Was to get your friends together and like fucking try to drop kick them and stuff.
Well, it's funny.
Wait, does that mean I get to kick you in a game?
Yeah, there literally is a kick button. Yeah.
It's funny you talk about co-op, because Techland have been notorious about not being able to connect anybody to anybody in any of their games. And I haven't had any problems with Homefront. So I'd like to be able to play co-op in this game. It would be really good. Like Techland can't even do their co-op properly now. None of their games have ever worked co-op properly out of the box. So
yeah, I mean, like speaking of Homefront Revolution, like I actually really enjoyed that game. I had problems and it was definitely rough around the edges, but it felt like an urban Far Cry basically. Like you could tell that I wouldn't be surprised if that was the engine it was built on as well. It has a lot of reused animations and that kind of stuff. And I think my biggest problem with Dead Island in general is the focus on the melee combat, because first person, it's very rare that first person melee combat feels as satisfying as shooting, right? Because it's like there's a lot more to consider in terms of like distance between you and enemies, like how swings work and connect with enemies. Like we always complain about games where, and I'll talk about one in a bit, when you shoot an enemy and it's like they take damage, but like they don't react to you shooting them with a gun. And it's like you want to feel like when Gears of War, when you unload a rifle into a dude, like it staggers them, when you feel you get the good vibration of the gun, and they visually like fall over or stumble back, or react to it. Whereas in Dead Island, it's like, okay, cool, you get up close, you hit them with the a pipe or something, and they'll fall backwards, and it works quite well. But like it's okay, now step back, step forward, do the same thing, step back, step forward, do the same thing. And it's hard to make that kind of interesting in the moment to moment, at least in my opinion. I don't know. There were other problems with that game too, with the endurance, like the durability systems and the awful voice acting and the terrible story. Actually, there's not a lot. There's probably more wrong with the game than right, actually, now thinking about it. But
I don't know. Like I think if they're going with the like Homefront style, or Homefront developers, and they want to use that engine or that sort of framework, then there probably needs to be more of an emphasis on gunplay.
Yeah. I know, like, from Dying Light 1 to Dying Light 2, the gunplay was, like, heavily downplayed. So it would be very interested to see how Dead Island 2 does it.
I mean, using a gun in Dead Island sucked. Like, it was just like the guns were floaty. They didn't have a lot of good like, there wasn't a good aim assist for the console stuff.
Like, it was the same with Dying Light, but it wasn't anywhere as bad.
And like, I know, like that's not the point, right? You know, like, you're not supposed to be using guns. You're supposed to be getting up there and fucking a dude up with a 2x4 that you've strapped a battery to for some reason. But
Me and my good buddy Plank.
Yeah, Plank. Yeah, exactly.
With the Ed and Eddie face.
Yes, exactly.
That's all I want from a zombie game. I just want a draw
Ed
your
and
own
Eddie
face
zombie.
on your own personal plank, and that's your only weapon you need for the game. That'd be fun.
That sounds like a Dark Souls run. Plank only run.
Just 2x4s.
Yeah, exactly.
Mowing down zombies. It's fun.
Anything else you guys want to talk? Is there any other news, or is it just that they're apparently working on it?
Pretty much that it should release by March 2023.
End of their financial
I
year,
imagine
guess.
with Dying Light 2 coming out and, having a bit of hype around it, that they would want to bank on that a little.
I could see it. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Because, what else does Embracer Group have it coming out?
Oh my god.
Same.
Well, I mean, Embracer Group basically collects mid-sized indie studios like they're going out of business. Literally.
Yeah. Saints Row, Payday 3, Supercross 5, Shadow Warrior 3, which just released yesterday.
Oh, okay, right.
Let's Get Fit.
That's not.
I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, not do that.
Anyway.
I mean, we don't leave our homes, so maybe it is a good thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I got to bust up the Kinect next week.
Gonna play myself some Fruit Ninja.
Oh,
Yeah,
God, fine. I
me
will
intrigued.
help.
I got one Kinect game I need to do. It's Kinect Adventures. Just got to get all those platinum medals. We're going to be very sore by the end of it. We'll be doing lots of jumping.
Right. There's two stories I quickly want to run through.
Yeah.
So, it didn't even link me to it. All right. Well, this one's basically just a one sentence. Xbox Wire has now got a Japanese version of it. So Xbox Wire, the news updated thing for Xbox, is now available in Japanese.
Okay, so I mean that's a good sign, right? I mean, let's not jump to conclusions and say, okay, they're definitely acquiring 5 Japanese studios and opening up a new office over there. But
Just one.
Microsoft's always been trying to make inroads into the Japanese market. So
Wake up tomorrow and Platinum will be acquired, and this and that.
Platinum would be a good one, actually.
Give us,
They have their toes in a lot of places, so
Yeah,
they've got a lot of contracts to fulfill before they could truly go somewhere.
I was gonna say, when's Bayonetta 3 coming out?
That's a very good question. Sometime this year, isn't it?
Yeah, it was. I mean, you could. I've been saying that for the last couple of years. And,
having a quick look.
Yeah.
2022.
Oh, okay. Right. Okay. Yeah.
That's all I've got. That comes up 2022. First question is, will Bayonetta 3 ever come out?
I heard the second one was good. Another. Not
that we would know.
Exclusive. Yeah, exactly.
Unless you're on a Switch, but yeah.
I think what's
Do on a
Bayonetta?
Switch, but I don't really look.
Yeah. What was Bayonetta 2? Wasn't that like a Wii U game or something? Or was that on the Switch as well?
Probably on
A Wii U then Switch. They did it originally. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. Right.
I mean, let's be honest. Anything that was put on the Wii U needed a breath of life put into it.
Absolutely. Yeah. They're just like, we'll just do some Switch ports and charge a ridiculous amount for them.
The other quick story I was going to mention is Forza Horizon 5 is getting its ASL and BSL support, which, if you're not familiar, are 2 variations of sign language. They won
so
quite
we
a
can
few.
go that, or we can go that, Just driving around being like Mr. Bean.
So the Series 5 update is arriving for Forza Horizon 5 players on March 1st. when I played it today, I didn't see it quite yet in the accessibility options, but
It is
I did.
technically only the second.
It is
cross.
there.
Is there? Oh, okay, cool.
It is there for
Oh, is
sure.
there?
I tested
Okay.
it out. So
Maybe I was looking
so
at
I poked around a few games today actually. With it, they have it like in the cutscenes that start missions and stuff like that. I'm at the end of the game, so I don't see any of the general progress stuff. But I jumped into a few of the missions with the stories and stuff like that, and it wasn't there at like the end of the sessions where they had like a wrap up, but it was there at the start of each of the rounds that I did. So
Okay.
it looks good. It does look good.
interesting. I might have to dig around a little bit more then.
It's just under accessibility.
Yeah, that's where I was looking because I was
Well, to me-
playing Cloud today.
If it was supposed to come out today, I mean, it might have been later. It would have been because be the first in the States, I assume. So it might have been later than you were playing it.
Fair enough. Yeah, so those were the two short ones. Moving swiftly along, Steam Deck and Game Pass.
Yeah, this was an interesting one. I mean, like not wholly unexpected, right? Because the Steam Deck is essentially just a PC, so you can run ideally anything on it as long as it's optimized. But
Apparently, very, very, very resource heavy when you're playing Elden Ring.
yeah, I bet. Yes,
To no surprise.
I can imagine.
Apparently, it's big and loud and hot. So maybe we're related.
I was gonna say, like, what? You describing me? What?
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, no. Let run through it.
All right. So, Valve president Gabe Newell said that he's open to working with Microsoft to get Game Pass onto Steam, while also confirming that the company isn't currently interested in a competing service. The news of the potential partnership came from Newell himself. With the Stream Deck getting into the hands of players, the Valve president has been taking interviews, speaking to PC Gamer when asked if there was some kind of Steam equivalent to Game Pass on the horizon, or if he'd work with Microsoft to bring over Game Pass. He said, "I don't think it's something that we need to do ourselves, building a subscription service at this time, but for their customers, it's clearly a popular option, and would be more than happy to work with them to get that on Steam." So, to me, this is no surprise.
Yeah,
I think the discussion's healthy because you got the launch of the Steam Deck, so it's more promotion there, and then it's just more promotion for Game Pass.
Yeah, and it's not like Microsoft's going to come out with a handheld, right? They have said many times that they have no interest in doing that. They saw what happened with the PSP and the Vita, and they were like, Nintendo can have that market. Let's not.
Yeah, they don't really need to.
No, exactly.
Like, people have enough options, like phones, for example. Phones, the clips with the controllers, like they've made enough variety, especially for like third parties as well, like the Razer Kishi, the 8-bit controller, stuff like that. Like, there's plenty of third parties that are able to pick up the slack, partner it with your phone, and it's fine. This is just more. This is interesting to me because it's kind of like, if it's that easy to get it onto Steam, like, if he's that willing to get it onto Steam Deck, I feel like it's already planned. This is just the pre-announcement.
So
I don't know.
I think where the conversation should probably go with that is that you're looking at other people talking about getting Game Pass onto other services. When they come up with like PlayStation and stuff like that, they're like, you should have a tailored version of just the Xbox games that they can't access and stuff like that. But you already get that on Steam anyway. You can already run the Xbox first-party games. They just need to dump more first-party games on Steam and they're fine.
Yeah.
They don't need to add an app. So
Yeah, I think the thing is though is that the other part with Game Pass is the streaming part, right? Is the cloud integration. And I think that's where they probably potentially see the growth, right? Because you're right, it's like they could do Game Pass on Steam is kind of a weird thing, but you're right. Like, it feels like it would have to be a curated version of it because it's like, oh, I can give Microsoft, $10 a month or $15 a month, and I get this game, or I can buy it off Steam. And it's like, well, if I have the Steam version, do I get the do I get the Game Pass version? Does the Game Pass version exactly the same SKU? Is it like a Microsoft? Is it the Microsoft Store SKU? So we don't get the, I don't know. Like, there's stuff in there in terms of like compatibility and who owns what, and I'm sure money's got to change hands for that to happen, right? Steam will want their cut.
Is it just a cloud streaming service?
They just had some. They just had some servers free up. The Windows Phone ones. They could just.
True,
use them.
that's true. Yeah, those. I mean, to be fair, I don't know about free up. I mean, maybe more like just fucking
forcibly
decommission,
closed
like,
down.
Yeah, I'll say decommission, just scrap. Apparently, considering how badly they've been holding up over the last few years.
Probably like 5 people in the community keeping them alive.
Yeah, he has 3 of them. He's
well, I have 4 Windows phones and all of them running. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, there you go. Right,
4 of them.
And then Panda points out in chat that apparently Gabe Newell was personally delivering Steam Decks when they came out, which is pretty cool. And he was signing like cases for people and stuff. I saw when I read
Did anyone watch that video? I watched the video.
I haven't seen it.
No,
he didn't sell himself very well, so he's like, he could have been like, I'm Gabe Newell and I'm the blah 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 Valve, and this is my baby. Here you go, enjoy. But it wasn't really any of that. So
that's not the kind of guy he is, right? Like he's never been that dude. He's always just been like, hey man, do you want to come and look at my cool collection of knives that I have and my great beard that I grew out and put New Zealand on the map because we got stuck here during COVID and I love it. Like it was. He's a super unassuming guy. I don't know. I mean, like obviously he's been memed all to hell, right? So there's always that great gif of him coming in with the was that him coming in with the belts? There's that meme, and then the kid on the floor has got like a wallet on him whenever the Steam sale's coming on. It's like just like I don't know. I mean, I think Gabe's like an interesting personality, but we don't really know much about him outside of the fact that he's relatively soft-spoken.
He can't count to 3.
He can't count to 3. Yes,
oh my God.
Definitely know that. Yeah, his knife connection went from 1 to 4, 5, 6 onwards.
Or a spin-off.
But yeah, I mean, like I don't think the Steam Deck's for me, right? But I think that getting Game Pass and more services is just what Microsoft wants to do, and if like you said, if Valve have a console and Microsoft have a service, then maybe that's a good match.
Out of interest, where would you rate like going down the line in terms of how you can access playing for achievements? So for me, for example, it would be Xbox first, PC second.
Yeah.
Probably my laptop third. Yeah. Probably browsing through the app fourth.
Right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Then probably when I get to the phone would be last. So phone is the most unreliable, but cloud on PC seems alright.
Yeah. I don't know. Have you? I guess because Charlotte and I haven't used cloud because we can't because it's not over here in New Zealand yet.
Yeah,
I mean,
I did all that testing when
I was going to ask
started. Yeah, I found the actual Edge worked the best out of everything in terms of like resolution and frame rate and stuff
like browser based.
Browser based, the browser, because I tested all the PC apps and it was junk. Yeah. So.
And like that whole browser thing was really like they put a priority on that to make sure that they could get it onto the Apple to get Apple users to be able to use it, right? Because Apple wouldn't let them have their native app on the App Store, so they're like, well, I guess you got to download, get it on Safari and just run it through there. But I mean, I'm hoping that once we get the data center up and running here, I can actually use the cloud service stuff. I mean, I can still remote play, which gets everything that I really care about for the most part because I got a pretty big backlog to work on, but it still sucks that it's been so long.
Yeah, I mean they can launch a console there, but they can't.
I'm not getting into it again. I'm not.
We've had this conversation too many times.
Yeah. I get too salty every time. What else you got, Cameron?
Moving along, the last news story I've got is the Halo Infinite devs are looking to create more serial narrative content for live service multiplayer. So they recently put up a series of job ads for positions relating to growing and evolving the game's free-to-play multiplayer across various live service initiatives. One of these was a monetization designer job. It calls for a person to create new ongoing experiences for the game. The person will help create the next phases of Halo Infinite's free-to-play experience, and it will include designing monetization strategies. And then the other one is for a writing directed job ad, also posted in January 2022, asking for a person to join the team who will work alongside the Infinite's creative leads to develop highly innovative and engaging serial narrative content for the multiplayer aspect.
Okay. It's a lot to unpack, right?
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it's a whole lot of nothing, right? Like,
I mean, we can put the monetization and stuff to the side. It's just that makes
Sure.
sense, yeah?
Yeah, they want to make more money off the service that they're going to be running.
Yeah.
What a fucking surprise.
Yeah. Writing directed job, though, for serial narrative content for multiplayer.
For multiplayer is kind of the thing, where it's like serial
Yeah.
narrative content, like, oh, they're going to do like DLC, or they're going to do some more like, is it going to be like Spartan Ops? Is that maybe? I mean,
Yeah,
is it
that
gonna-
was
of
where my
points.
mind jumped
Yeah.
to first. You could do Spartan Ops, you could do a Horde mode.
You could do all of that, or you could do the Assassin's Creed multiplayer where it's locked behind leveling, and you get the story progressively as you get through the battle pass or whatever, or tied to the limited events that only run for a week or so and you miss the content. You can imagine all of the people that are playing that for story would want the content consistently, and they're going to miss that if they have to do events where they to this day they can't unlock all the armor.
But at the same time,
Sorry.
you can work on another battle pass. You can go back and work on another battle pass. I imagine there might be
Yeah.
They did that.
potential
Yeah,
ability to
if they
do
did that.
I mean, I do feel like that, like if they were going to put this time and effort into making the content, they wanted to have it as accessible as possible. Because that's kind of been the big thing. Again, I see the Halo subreddit every now and then, and it's mostly people bitching about how there's no content. And
Well,
so it's like, yeah, there's been no updates, and the season 2 is being potentially delayed and that sort of stuff.
The frustrating thing about it is the fact that, to me, it's a 10 out of 10 game. Like, it was my game of the year, but the only problem I had with it is I was disappointed from the lack of content. This is the kind of game that you want to keep coming back to because it plays so good. But it's like, why am I coming back if I'm playing the exact same map over and over and there's no variety? Like, like I said before when we were doing Game of the Year stuff, a few years in, this is going to be an amazing, games as a service.
Yeah.
But at the moment, it just doesn't have enough.
They could go down the Destiny route. You look at the stuff like the Drifter in the Gambit events and stuff like that. So they've littered some of his stuff throughout the story, and then had missions based on him that are kind of disconnected. But in the end, like, his content is actually completely separated from the main game. So, but then there's the occasional odd story and actual mission that you go through relating to him. So they did that with some limited events not too long ago. It was the one, I don't know if you guys know, that everyone kind of got stuck in the initial zone. So anyone that hadn't played the game for a very long time, when they logged into the game, they were thrown in, as Destiny does, throws you into an event, and you have to do the mission before you get back to the hub. So people were getting stuck in the initial event because they weren't high enough to pass the mission. And then veterans had to actually get dropped into the mission, and they have ended up giving out banners because for the people that were just going in and saving, like people that were coming in fresh again, just to
Destiny
get people
Dunkirk
into the game. Yeah, people were stuck in a loop. They couldn't play the game.
That's hilarious. That reminds me of the when the Division first came out, and you had the tutorial level, and the last step of the tutorial was you had to go and like press the button on the computer. And on that first day, obviously, literally everyone is in the tutorial area, and everyone's trying to press the button, and it's got collision and everything's not working. So people started forming an orderly line, a queue, all the way across the apartment, and you just sort of standing there being like, oh, I guess I'm number 325. Just gotta wait for my number to come up, I guess, and just so. And then someone would try to jump the queue, and everyone would start like doing emotes at them and shit. It's weird how this kind of stuff just like organically happens from basic fuck ups from the devs. People have to work around them. I really wish I got into Destiny. I enjoy shooters quite a bit. I'm not big into the live service stuff, but all the stuff I heard about the original.
It is honestly such a good comparison to Halo Infinite at the moment, because it is one of those games that they built the best base they potentially do, like gunplay, sound, like feels, sounds, everything was amazing. It was just
Mouthfeel.
the story that fell apart. Sorry, what was that?
Mouthfeel? Yeah, no, yeah.
No. Anyway,
Well, you know,
I need to go back and do like a few of the achievements in the original Destiny. It was like at that point
I
in
can
time,
feel
that
a
was
carry
my most
coming
played.
on. Like it's coming. It's coming.
Have you got a max character on 360?
No,
Okay,
but that doesn't stop me.
yeah, right.
then who's
So
doing the carry?
let's get back into it. It's right there.
Oh, no,
Like I said
okay.
last week too, they Destiny 2, Bungie just good devs. You know, I will keep on hammering on about this.
They know
Sea
how to
of
make
Thieves, fix your fucking achievements.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Wait, where's the clip?
They know how to make a good game.
Sorry, anybody that takes care of the achievement system in their games is a good dev, and anybody that doesn't is not a good dev. I
I'm
don't
not
know.
clipping all of that. That's too much.
All right, so
Anyway,
okay, what were we talking about? I completely lost track. So Halo narrative content. Sorry.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I know that like Spartan Ops seems like the obvious thing, right? But I know that 343, one of the ex 343 guys was like, Spartan Ops having like weekly content or like monthly content for Spartan Ops was absolute hell, and basically destroyed the entire spirit of the team because they were just constantly working to generate new stuff for this game.
it's like what they like doing with Halo devs, isn't it?
Yeah, basically just grinding them into the dirt, which is really fucking disheartening because like I love Halo, but fuck me. And yeah, they've been basically getting nothing but flack, especially on like the Halo Infinite subreddit, which is, again, of course, you know, most subreddits are cesspools of people complaining about shit. But with all the delays they've had for content, for they still haven't got the co-op out. We're still waiting on Forge mode. There's talks that those might even be delayed because again, season 2 got delayed already.
Season 2 got delayed. We should be expecting it around May, June.
Right? Yeah.
Really?
Which
I heard August.
August, I think,
August?
is what it ended up being.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I think it was originally going to be
God
May, but yeah, it's like now it's like August, and it's like, well, that's a long time, and if that's the only content they're going to put out at that stage, that's them getting up to the game being quote unquote complete, and then they start putting out new stuff, I guess. But if this is all multiplayer, I kind of don't give a shit. I'm only here for the co-op, and I'm here for the campaign and the story and stuff. That's why I play Halo 4. I don't play it. Like, there are so many other shooters I can go around and shoot people with. I mean, shit, I played Halo 3 heaps already. I don't really feel like I need that experience again. But, like, I might be wrong. I haven't played Infinite. I will put that out there. But, I don't know. People seem to love
maybe
it
this
for a
is
bit.
the Halo that Charlotte needs to start.
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
it's
too
on
bad.
Game
I
Pass.
mean, like, it's that thing. Do you want to play it for, like, campaign, or do you want to play it for multiplayer?
And you'll have to get through it on your own because there's no co-op, so.
Yeah,
No,
that's it.
okay, but there's no co-op yet. Is the thing.
Well, yeah, right? But, again, I don't...
Look, in all honesty, you're dealing with the easiest lasso achievement out of the bunch. That's going to be the only thing that scares people off. There is no Iron Skull. The only downside of all this is you don't know what future content they're going to release.
That's always my biggest thing, right? Is that, like, yet is the biggest thing. Like, even if I finish this game entirely, there's almost certainly going to be more stuff. Like,
But
they'll have
then-
new content, new achievements.
But then,
Yeah.
at the same time, you might wait, a few years, really want to play it. You might be like me. You might play it at launch, really go like, okay, this is a pretty basic version. I can come back to it later on. And then they decide to close down a whole entire game mode, giving barely any time.
Oh my
that,
god.
That happens sometimes. Yeah, sure.
I'm not salty, you're salty. It's just
Yeah.
the same order. Yeah, 100% how I feel at the moment.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, I wouldn't mind a horde mode.
Yeah, I mean, like Firefighter's been in the games before. That would make sense.
Yeah, I want some more firefight. I want some. I would honestly not mind doing some like 20-minute kind of one-off missions to find out what has happened to the other Spartans.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. Right, it was going to be sort of like standalone DLC stuff that isn't necessarily related to the main game, but they put a mission select in it and they give you a new mission to do.
To me, saying
you go to-
multiplayer sounds weird though. Like I would say a co-op experience would be more what you'd be hoping for.
Well, right, you
But
would
it's still
hope.
single
Right?
player.
But I guess technically co-op is multiplayer, right? That's the other thing, is that like
It's
You did-
weird. It's weird to say it like that though when we're dealing with practically something that's like two different games at the moment. It's
two different
single
games.
player.
Yeah, exactly. you're
single
right.
player experience that can have co-op, or it's multiplayer, which is clearly those online.
So basically, they're doing raids. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure. Like that would actually make sense. Yeah, actually take a leaf out of Destiny's book and just be like, yeah, we'll put out an expansion with some raids in it and a couple other extra like challenge modes and stuff and some firefight. Like, and they can build half of that shit in Forge anyway.
Or people just make awesome content anyway. Forge, if it's as great as everybody says.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, I think that takes us through the news. Do you want to talk a little bit about what's happening with Game Pass? We had a little bit of news.
All right. So some games are getting added. First off, I'm going to make the joke that Flight Simulator is finally hitting the cloud.
Okay.
Finally got off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then Far Changing Tides, which I am very keen to check out, is coming out on cloud, console, and PC.
Came out today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
March 3rd, we have Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13. Have you played that one?
I have. I've done all three of them.
Is that the
Final
good
Fantasy
one?
13. It's the okay one.
Okay. And what was your opinion of the other two again?
The first one is not good. The second one is really good. And the third one is okay, but it's kind of a different thing because you're on a timer. Because essentially the world's ending. The universe is ending, and you have a certain amount of days to stop it from ending. And so you have to basically go and do a bunch of shit to try and slow the apocalypse down.
Is this Final Fantasy meets Majora's Mask?
Kind of, actually, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But you only play as Lightning, but you can like capture monsters and have them fight with you. So you have like it's a lot more like you don't have the same variety that you did in the other games. Like anyway, I don't want to get into it because it's an old game, but it's not bad. I just never thought Lightning was a very interesting character. But it's fine. Like Final Fantasy 13 Part 2 was kind of where it got interesting because they introduced time travel and some really cool weird shit.
I think I played like a little bit of 13 when it launched, and it just wasn't for me.
I really enjoy Final Fantasy, but 13 just was it was a corridor RPG, unfortunately.
Step back from 12 in terms of gameplay.
Big step.
The other four on March 10th we have Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes, fantastic.
Everyone should play that.
Yep, get on that immediately.
Which I'm very surprised it's hitting Game Pass so soon.
I
know it wasn't it wasn't even sales.
I'm not going to say I told you so, but I definitely heavily implied it.
We knew it was going to hit Game Pass eventually, but
I said 6 months, right? Like it's been basically 6 months since the game came out.
Yeah, because it's before Christmas.
5 months or 4 months.
That's still close.
October, November, December.
All I'm saying is I'm surprised.
March. That's 6 to my counting, buddy.
Oh wait, was it September?
I'm pretty sure it was October.
I'm pretty sure it was October. We can find out.
Anyway.
Sure. Okay, sure. But it's coming later this month, right? So.
Yeah. So 26th of October.
I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's a great like single playthrough game. It's longer than I was expecting. Like has more the story goes on. It's almost like a 4-act story instead of a 3.
Yeah.
So kind of when you think it might be wrapping up, there's a bit more to it, which I was okay with. And like if you're a comic book fan of like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff, it's got all kinds of stuff in there for like Easter eggs. Like clearly the people who wrote it were like I think they actually got some of the comic book guys to actually write some of it. So it's anyway, I don't want to spoil any of it because it's all very narrative focused. The gameplay is okay.
It is I really enjoyed it. I need to go back to it again, clean it up. I will say though, you will probably benefit from using your guide the entire time.
Yes.
I really wish this was one of those games that you could just sit back and enjoy, but if you miss collectibles, it's going to screw you over.
Yeah, use the collectible guide at the very least, because the chapter select sucks.
What else was there? There was Lawn Mowing Simulator finally hitting, which I kind of feel is a bit of a cheat, because it got announced for last month, and it's like finally hitting, and then they counted it as one of the games.
I mean, technically it's getting added now, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Young Souls, which I was funnily enough reading an article about 2 days ago, that originally released on Stadia, I believe.
Oh, okay.
And then I saw something about like, this popular game is finally coming to Xbox and PlayStation and all that. I'm like, really nice art style. I bet you like 90% chance this hits Game Pass.
Yeah.
Next morning, I'm just like, all right, cool, it's coming to Game Pass. I don't even have to worry.
There's kind of a feel for the games that get added these days, right? You're like,
Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
Like this kind of, I feel like anything by Stadia hasn't done well. Probably going to be an easy bet.
Yep.
And then the other one is Kentucky Route Zero, Route Zero,
yes.
which I know nothing about.
I'm very excited. It's a very narrative focused game, so that's
Point and
right
click?
up my alley. Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Cool.
I think I think originally episodic. So, but I think that the console edition has everything built in.
So I'm definitely keen to check out Far Changing Tides and Young Souls, and probably Kentucky Route Zero later on. The ones I'm still waiting on are Shredders and the Weird West.
Oh, yeah.
Weird West looks good.
And Navor Blue,
Yes, of course.
which will be in the second half of the month. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to fill in with the rest of it. And with that, we also had our games leaving. First off, I'm just going to say you do not need to do Dungeons free. Why is it?
Wait, what you mean Torchlight 3?
Torchlight free, that's the
No,
one.
that's not the right.
I'm
that's not the
sorry.
right game.
I'm sorry. TA is being really weird with me. It didn't give me one of the articles before, and then it just didn't show me this. All right,
Yeah.
so Torchlight free, we can just forget, yeah?
That's a
Yep.
200+ hour game, and it's also not great.
1 and 2 are apparently much better.
I love the original. Yeah.
Surge 2 is also leaving, which is going to be 35 or 40 hours.
I wish I could do that.
It's been on sale quite a few times.
Yeah, it
but
tends to
this
go on sale
is-
for a amount.
From the same devs that did Lords of the Fallen, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it
And
is
the
that
original
kind of
Surge,
difficulty in terms of...
It's a Dark Souls game, so yeah, it is, and it's
okay.
like Lords of the Fallen is definitely the easiest one of those. That's actually relatively simple. The Surge is a lot more difficult.
I remember when I was diving for the Game Pass challenge, it was just like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting. And then it took me a little bit to realize it was actually Dark Souls, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't get out of the prison without dying over and over again.
You're like, oh, wait a minute, this seems familiar.
Wait a minute, I need an achievement in this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I haven't done the first one, so I think that I'm probably going to let this one go and maybe go back to the original game.
I mean, I own both. I think I own the first one physically and the second one digitally, but they've been on sale multiple times. They're usually ones that hit like 80% off.
Yeah.
So
like I might not even own it and just not know it.
yeah.
You know, I just have to go check.
And the other two that are leaving are Nier Automata, which is both the I had a feeling, and I started installing it last night. But so this one can take you around 50 hours or 3 to 4 hours if you're feeling quick about it.
Like ruining one of the greatest experiences I've had in a video game. Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Worth
how
the
much do
stacking.
I want to crush Matt's soul?
I mean, look, I will admit, like I did the first play. I did the first playthrough before the cheat was found.
Yeah.
And I still did, like I bought most of the rest of the last late game achievements because I just didn't want to grind out to level 99. And all that sort of stuff.
Realistically, if I'm to do this, one easy playthrough, like is difficulty factor in it at all?
No.
No.
So you can put the difficulty down as low as you want. You'll have to do 2 playthroughs.
Long
It's
game?
What? Not really.
Okay.
You can mainline most of it. But like the side stuff is actually like for like it's good narrative stuff, but like gameplay wise, you don't really need to. It's relatively straightforward. So you have to do two main playthroughs, and then there's like a side thing at the end that has kind of branching paths, but you can kind of repeat that relatively quickly.
Yeah.
Um,
I can tell you right now, the Windows one, I'm definitely cheating.
yeah, I did that too. When the cheat was discovered for the Windows version, I was like, I love this game, but I don't really need to play through it again.
Yeah. I'm kind of just like, it's whether I enjoy it or not. I don't want to start something, get halfway, and then just be skipping.
Yeah,
And then,
no, definitely.
yeah.
I mean, this was one of the games I won on RGS back in the day. Like I love this game. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I would recommend it to just about anybody.
Yeah. It's going to be the one I definitely play before the end, before the mid-month. And then the other one is Fogs.
Yeah, Fox.
Yep.
Fox. Great game. Charlotte and I had such a great time playing that game.
It's very glitchy still, though.
Yeah, I'm
It
not
is a
surprised.
great game to play with friends and not by yourself.
It's the company that you play it for, not the fucking gameplay. Because
I mean, the gameplay's
like-
okay, but it's mostly just laughing at how fucking ridiculous it is.
well, no, okay, so
Fucking
I'm
can't
running
cut this rope.
Dio through it.
Oh, right, of course.
And it's just glitching everywhere. And like in one scene, I've got a video where we just go flying up into the air and we're just spinning around as this giant long dog like spinning in the air. It's ridiculous. I don't quite understand how it glitches so bad. And those fucking scissors, oh my god.
Yeah.
The scissors would not cut at all. We spent like 10 minutes and Cameron's there on the party going, what the fuck?
Here I am trying
Could
to
not
eliminate her, come first, and then here I'm just hearing like.
I told you could have muted us. Like,
When I got the final one, I threw my headset down on the ground
Yep.
because I was done.
And
I
you're
was
like,
done
I
by
wanted
that point.
You're like, I wanted a pizza, and I was like, have I got a pizza for you?
We'll get to that.
with mushrooms.
We'll get to that. Trying to kill me.
Oh god.
I mean, look. At the end of the day, it's not like you committed a war crime. You didn't put pineapple on it.
No, I did. No, I was looking at it. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm all for a good joke, right? But that's like, come on, let's take it too far.
I did say that he wouldn't put pineapple
All
on
right,
the list.
so
Pineapples.
I'm quickly gonna go to this because I asked a question. I put it down as a question as well. So I decided yesterday to test out international borders and get Matt a pizza. You know, be a nice friend.
Let me just say this. I did not ask for pizza. There was no conversation about pizza. This was completely unprompted for some reason.
I was just testing. I was testing international waters,
Sure. Okay.
making
fine.
just seeing who's on our side and who's not secretly working for Russia.
Okay.
I don't know.
So you were Ukraining your neck over to see. Okay, I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So I'm just like, all right. No, in all honesty, I'm on a diet at the moment, and I'm just like, all right. I need somebody else to experience a pizza because I'm in pain. So I decided, all right, I'm gonna get really creative and make a pizza for Matt. And I made.
I didn't realize that was part of your feeder fetish. Jesus Christ, man.
Stop kink shaming.
And yeah, no kink shaming.
I mean, like, look,
We don't kink shame on this
I'm
podcast.
not kink shaming. I just didn't consent to this. All right, I was not informed consent. I did not know. I didn't know that Cameron had his pants around his ankle and a belt around his neck at the same fucking time while he was trying to force feed me fucking pizza.
Stop it.
Jesus Christ.
Was it a good pizza though?
It was alright. So Cameron had this thing. It was alright. Like, it was like he was like, I'm gonna put chicken and spinach on one side with barbecue cola sauce on it, which was again.
Okay. Half of it was a really good pizza. The other half was like, I wonder if this would work.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And so like the regular side was like, okay, it's a less good version of a regular pizza that they do, and the other side was like, okay, this kind of just tastes like sweet barbecue sauce, and like because their chicken's not great anyway.
No,
That's fine.
They don't
Most-
do good
yeah.
It's not good chicken.
Hey, look, I appreciate it. You know, he also sent me a drink with it, which is very, very, very kind of him.
And what was your rebuttal? Sending me a pizza.
Well, you said, hey, can I have a pizza? And I was like, absolutely, Cameron, you can have a pizza. And so I'm
Was
out.
it? No, it was a
No,
please, sir. May I have some pizza, sir?
Yes, yeah. So I'm like, okay, cool. What do you want? And he doesn't respond. And then Charlotte responds because she's in the party with them.
I was doing the eliminator.
Got told to.
Yeah,
I
right.
asked very nicely, Charlotte, hey, can you send a message to Matt saying, hey, anything's fine, just no spice.
Yeah, which is what she said. And so I was like, okay, here's like, and I was looking at Domino's, and I was like, oh, like I get him like a meatloaf or something, but I was like, that's kind of boring. So I'm like, oh, butter chicken. I like butter chicken. It's kind of a little bit weird and interesting. We'll go for one of that. And it's like, it's got like a little bit of spice on it, which is kind of funny, but like it's mild. I mean,
Yeah.
I definitely wouldn't class it as like a buffalo chicken or anything like that. And so I send that off, and I also include some some cheesy scrolls and
They
some
were really good.
And the
And some
pepperoni twist.
Really
weird
good.
pepperoni twist. I tried to chuck some chicken in there as well, but it didn't let me. I don't know. There was something weird going on the website, but
Yeah.
sent that off. And suddenly, I'm getting a thing, being like, oh, hey, why are there mushrooms on this? I hate mushrooms. They're going to make me gag. I was like, I didn't see anything about having no mushrooms as a request on the form. I just saw no spicy. That was it. Like,
No
I mean,
spicy.
but to be fair, if you had said no mushrooms, I probably would have put double mushrooms on it. But,
Yeah.
So here I am with the pizza. I'm just like, fucking all of it's covered in jalapenos.
yeah.
All of
Yeah.
it's covered in mushrooms. Okay. In all fairness, though, this is after everybody in the party hearing how I was speaking to Nikita about like, I'm having pizza fatigue. What are you having?
Oh yeah, you're being so mean. Go, I'm having pizza. You're not getting any.
And then I was like at the very end,
I'm
like,
glad now.
Do you want me to order pizza? She's just like, no, it's fine. I'll make my own pizza. It's like, I'll make chorizo on it and all that. And I'm like, all right, cool, that's fine. I don't know how you can call it pizza without sauce, but that's beside the point.
Yeah, no sauce.
Weirdo.
Oh god.
Yeah, mushroom. Look, the only time mushrooms are acceptable to me is if they are saturated in butter and then put on steak. That is the only time I will eat them.
All right. I mean, yeah, I understand like texture stuff can be weird, but to be fair, I didn't know you didn't like mushrooms. That was not intentional. I also didn't know it had mushrooms on it. I was like, butter chicken pizza. It probably is like chicken and sauce. I didn't really read the ingredients. I was just like,
when I looked at it first and it was just covered in jalapenos and this bright red, like orange sauce, I'm just like, he's out to kill me. He's out to kill me.
I don't know what mushrooms and jalapenos are doing on a butter chicken pizza anyway. All right, like I was just like, hey, look, I was gonna be. Like, put some spices on it, put some sauce on it, put some chicken on it. Like, that's the butter chicken pizza. What the fuck is Domino's doing?
Zach says mushrooms are good. They turn Mario into Super Mario.
Yeah, okay, sure.
They do. This is true.
So there's two things I took out of this, which is funny. The fact that when I ordered for you at 6 o'clock yesterday,
Oh my
it
god.
worked out at
Okay, so I have worked out at 8 o'clock because you fucking got the time zone wrong.
No,
So,
I ordered it for 6. It must automatically adjust.
it would
It
have
must
to.
change.
So
Yeah.
I was talking about this because Alison was like, "Well, we have leftover dumplings for dinner," and because we had dinner planned, but Cameron's like, "I'm going to do pizza," and it was like 5:30, and it's like Cameron said it's coming at 6, and Alison's like, "I'm hungry, I'm just going to eat the dumplings," and I was like, "All right, whatever, I'll wait for the pizza." And so I get to like 7:30, and I'm like, "Man, I guess maybe the pizza got lost or something." And I'm like, Cameron, did someone steal the pizza? Did you get a confirmation? And he checks it. Oh, it's coming at 8, and here I am wasting away. For this fucking Frankenstein's monster of a pizza that you fucking tried to
In
force
my
feed me.
defense,
The creation pizza that you made.
I felt really fucking bad about it.
It was fine. It was fine. I appreciate it. And then, and then I had some. I ate way too much food yesterday anyway, so it was fine. But I appreciate it. Thank you, Cameron.
So
Kia.
my question is, when
Yes.
ordering pizza for a friend in another country, which time zone should be relevant to the order delivery?
All right, Kia. If someone had to order you a pizza, what's the go-to?
Look, I'm real easy for pizza. I'll
Apparently,
take
that's
pineapple.
what Cameron said
I'll
too,
take
right? But
the
apparently
pineapple.
not. Okay. Maybe can we?
Hey,
cut his feet.
Okay.
pineapple's good.
I'm good for whatever. I normally just like chuck on some spinach, some mushrooms, have like a margarita, all that kind of.
Margarita's
it's
fine.
fine.
That's pretty good.
margarita's
So-
a bomb.
Yeah, so like just nice and easy. Make it easy on the bank account. No extras. Just kind of like just
Yeah, no,
maybe
actually-
slide me a drink or whatever.
Yeah, I'll
That's
go for
fine.
a drink.
Pizza is pizza.
Going for the norm, I will say something controversial.
Mm.
Hawaiian pizza is the worst,
Oh, I don't know about the worst.
but I wouldn't mind if the pineapple was not cooked on top of the pizza.
So like
I cannot have
So like
hot
if it was fresh, like just fresh
if,
pineapple
If somebody
on top
had
afterwards.
if somebody had like cut pieces of pineapple that they put on top
Hmm.
of a cooked pizza, I would eat that. I would not eat pineapple cooked into a pizza.
the only like I actually like in terms of like I will never pick pineapple for a pizza topping, right? But I've had really good like Hawaiian pizzas from like nice Italian places, in which case they're probably crying in the back while they make this abomination. Because like how the fuck, like, man, I cannot believe I have to put this shit on the fucking, you got fucking Nona working in the back being like, man, I did not fucking live through the war for this shit and switch sides at the last minute.
I want to go to Italy one day. I want to go and see the Colosseum and travel around Rome and go to Pompeii and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, in good conscience, take Nikita to a pizzeria in Italy and ask for them to do no sauce. I can't do
that's
it.
true. That's true. You will be, yeah, exactly. They'll actually make.
I
you
want to
fight.
order pizza, but no tomato, please.
So
they
you want
just
bread?
Throw the
You want bread?
Yeah, exactly.
So here's another question then. So if you had a dessert pizza, dessert pizza. If you had a dessert pizza, do pineapple lumps go on the dessert pizza?
I reckon it would be fine on a dessert
I think
pizza.
you can pretty much get away with anything on a dessert pizza, right? Like that's kind of thing. It's just, as long as it's not
Okay.
meat.
But also, I have an issue with dessert pizza. That just seems like
It depends. It's one of those things, though. It depends where you're getting it from. Again, I think
true.
Dessert pizza, chocolate, mini marshmallows. I wouldn't say strawberry and pineapple together. If I was having pineapple on pizza, I would probably want that to be the only fruit.
Yeah, having multiple fruit on a pizza, like I never really said like banana on a pizza. Like again, like I don't like banana in general, but like there's more of a texture thing because I just don't like how.
Yeah.
But like on a pizza seems kind of, I don't know. I think my biggest problem is like if you're doing a place that does dessert pizzas, if they use the same dough as they use for the regular pizzas, they've already just don't do it. Like they've already fucked up.
No.
They got to have like a specialty dough that is like sweeter and that they actually is like for dessert pizzas. Because I'm pretty sure Hell's does dessert pizzas and they just use the same ones. And they're just like, oh yeah, we just chuck like some apricots and custard on this. And I was like, you fucking what? I've tried it and like it was all right, but like I would never order it again. And again, if you're gonna order a dessert from Hell's, you might as well get like the fucking donut. The donut.
It's not where they get the donut. The unholy donut's where it's at. Filled with chocolate, melted chocolate, dusted in cinnamon sugar. Just
compromise and get something else that can be cut into like quarters, like a big cookie, like Pizza Hut used to do. I miss Pizza Hut.
Once.
It's like the cookie pies.
Yeah, right. I ordered a cookie pie once from like it was like a grab one. This was years ago. And it was like oh we do this we do like a giant chocolate chip or a giant M&M one, and I was like I can't do measurements in my head, so they were just like they're like this big. I'm like yeah, why not? I'm out of university. I'm working. I'm like I was living with my dad at the time, so I was like I didn't have like big expenses, so I was like I'm just gonna order this thing, and it fucking shows up in the biggest fucking box you've ever seen. And I was like, oh shit. And so it took me like a week to work through it. And by the end of the week, I was like, I kept eating it. I was like, this isn't even good anymore. But like, I've kept it in the fridge because I'm like, I felt like I've spent like $30 on this. Like, I need to eat it.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm coming up on my birthday in a week or so. And I'm like, maybe I need to repeat that experience and just see how that goes for me.
Jesus.
Just put your address in the chat. They'll be fine.
Yeah, actually, yeah, that's probably the way to go.
Send you a whole bunch of
you've got additional people to help eat it this time.
This is true. I'll be enlisting help from my support.
I mean, if the box isn't comedically large enough to not fit in the car, like what are you doing?
Oh yeah, exactly. It was like exactly. I was like
just
okay,
on the top of the car, right?
Yeah, I didn't have to turn it sideways to get it through the door. I will just tell you that right now. It was comedically huge. And my dad was like, what the fuck have you done? Because I didn't tell him about this, obviously. I was just like, I just ordered this. He's like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, it's a cookie. I'm like, he's like, how is that a cookie? And I opened it up and I ordered like I was like, oh, can I get M&Ms? They ran out of them. And then I was like, oh, actually, we also ran out of chocolate chips. It was a delay. So they sent me one that was like combined with both. So it was like,
oh God,
it was my entire year's worth of calories in a single serving. Like these. I literally had to go on a diet afterwards. It was the thing where I looked at myself and I'm like, I cannot keep living like this. I will actually die. I'm not a student anymore.
Oh dear.
Anyway,
that was a good segue.
What are we talking about? Video games.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that what the podcast is about? Not food.
Yeah.
I mean, we could do a food podcast.
Keo, do you want to talk about what you've been playing?
Yeah, sure. So as I said, I've been going through a bunch of stuff. I've been doing Control. That left Game Pass, so I picked up a copy, and I'm at the end. I just need to do the directives at the end of the base campaign and some of the extra expansion stuff, but all the story stuff is done now. So I've been working on that today. Other than that, Minecraft Dungeons I've been doing weekly. So everyone does have a cheese for this with the season pass content, where you can basically just run through the tower and do like a little save cheat at the end of that. But I've just been taking my time with the season pass, a few hours every week, just logging in and just doing it. And oh my god, it is worse than the Halo season pass.
Oh, God.
So what I can say about this is basically it's exactly the same as the Halo season pass, right? Mm-hmm. So except the difference is that Halo Infinite, you get every week a bunch of things you can do. You get XP and you can rank up. But in Minecraft Dungeons, you've got up to level 45 or 50, and you only get 5 objectives a week.
Mm-hmm.
And you get basically nothing from running through missions. So like getting 50 XP per match in Halo Infinite, it's basically you're getting nothing out of 1,000 points or whatever it takes to rank up.
Yeah.
But you have to basically do the objectives to actually get anything out of it. So it can be really, really strange with the way that they kind of spread the objectives. Some weeks you have like some really easy ones and then one really hard one, but then other weeks you get just like 550 gold or, play 70 missions. So like, and you're just running the same stuff over and over again. And I just skip weeks.
70 missions?
Yeah. So legit run 70 missions or defeat 550 of the same enemy, which only appears in one mission of random chance or something. So like, and once you're done with the 5 weekly objectives, you're done. So you have to wait to the next week or just grind the tower. So, which isn't worth it really. So, but I've just been seeing how long it takes. So I'm at about level 33 now, I think, nearly level 34. So I'm getting there, but that's basically every week since the season started in December, I think. Right. And I'm only level 33 out of 45. So nobody's talking about how bad this season pass is because everyone's either done the cheese or just doesn't play the game. But
I was going to ask, like, how much post-release content has there been for that game? So I remember when it first came out, and I was like, oh, that looks okay, but it's not really my kind of game. Yeah. And I was like, and it's definitely going to get more achievements and a bunch of other stuff that I'm not really, I'm not ready for that kind of commitment.
Yeah, if you're starting the game fresh, you could easily play the game, and I think there's 6 add-on packs plus some title updates.
Right.
So if you just jumped in at the beginning of a season, you'd be right by the end of it. But like when you've done all the content, like they say that it's not they're not predatory with their season pass, but it's definitely designed to keep you in the game every single week.
Right.
So yeah.
Lifesavers.
But it's fine. Like it's a fun game. It's fun. I don't mind playing it. So yeah. I've been doing I think mid last week we did a bit of Anthem. Cameron and I jumped in and did a few missions, so that's okay. Has its issues, but I don't really have anything new to talk about with it really. So
like I said last week, it's pretty much just Iron Man Simulator that you really want to be good. Like it had all the makings of something great, but then it just does not come together.
Yeah, the cutscenes, they have this weird mix of like you're just hanging around to get the next interesting side glance from a character. And then, once all the flare's done, you just skip the rest of the cutscene. So because they go forever. So yeah. I've been playing Crossfire X, so I started that. That was one of my first test streams that I was doing with the multiplayer until it crashed my Series X and I stopped streaming. So that was real fun. I'm just like, I'll test a few things out. And one of the things I did is I was like, I wonder if this has any recoil. So I just went up to a wall and just started shooting at the wall. And it was 2 clips in and it crashed my Xbox. So there's a few interesting things about that game that are really just dated, I think. So it's like you're just running around on the one axis and stuff like that. And there's a mode where it's a 2-part mode where you do one thing inside of a building and then you kind of zip line out. And I tried to shoot someone on the zip line from the inside of the building to the out, and it was just hitting the glass wall. Like the second part of the map was completely separated from the first part of the map. So you were just hitting the glass of the building from the inside and not actually hitting the outside. But I did try the story out, the Remedy story. I jumped in and did like a mission just to see what it's like, and it's I mean they're using the same engine as Control to actually do the story, so they're having the real life cutscenes that kind of like flare around the missions and stuff like that as you're playing. But it's the storytelling is just like the way it plays out in the levels. They've really tried to do like a Call of Duty thing, but there was in the first mission there was one part where the NPC said, "Oh, we can't go through this way. That the door's blocked." And they told an NPC to climb up a pole to go around to open it, and then he just kicks the door in.
Okay,
And then
right.
you just move on. And I'm like, oh no. So
that
it just
level of
doesn't
quality.
apply. Yeah. So other than that, a bit of MotoGP 18. I've been doing that as well. So it's the first time I've really played one of those games, but I did the multiplayer with a mate. And it has this funny thing where you can make it so that the front and the back brakes work independently,
Right.
which is interesting. But yeah, it's not something you want to play around with for too long unless you really wanted to get good at the game. So just put it back on auto and keep going, really. So, but that's about it.
All right. Cameron, anything you've been playing for the last couple of days?
I mean, just the last 2 days, I'll go off quickly. Tycho, basically finished all my auto leveling. I've got about 15 achievements left, and it's essentially just going through all the songs, some cosmetic outfits that I've got to combine and play a song with. Everything's just easy. It's just extremely grindy game. Like, even to the point that you can speed up a song to 2.5. All you need to do is clear it.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, alright, cool. If I was doing the exact same thing with Guitar Hero, speeding up the song, playing through it as quickly as possible, moving on to the next one. I got through 60% of the list in one night.
Damn, that's impressive.
So yeah. And then the other game I want to talk about is Dandy Ace. So after finishing Dreamscaper, I've been itching for another roguelike.
That's how they get you.
Yep. And Dandy Ace is essentially very cartoony kind of roguelite where you just pick up cards that do your actions. You're a magician that's trapped in a dungeon, and it just has like really, I don't want to say cringe, but it's like leaning slightly towards that level.
Cringe humor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, it's still, like, it's really fun for the gameplay, but like the voice acting is nothing special and that kind of thing. It's essentially just like, why are we trapped in here kind of thing. Got up to the first boss today, but it was like 3 or 4 hits away, and then he just like wiped the floor with me. But 20-25 hours on TA, I don't think it's going to take me that long.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear how you get along with it.
Yeah, I think it will be a relatively easy one, and I've quite enjoyed it. Other than that, it's just been like the usual suspects of doing a little bit of Halo here and there, and then just the Halo Wars 2 that we did the other night.
Yep.
Which I'll let you talk about.
Yeah. All right, I'll quickly go. Oh, yep.
9,000 for the week.
Oh, wow. I did that.
It's just the inflation from
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yes.
From last week. Yep.
all the easy zero-ons and that.
Yeah, of course. All that trash, all the title updates that have come out recently.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly. Did I talk about Army of Two last week? I
don't think you
if I
did.
No.
So I finally got into a session for that for the extraction mode, which is basically a 4-player horde mode style back when those things were popular. It was an absolute nightmare to get set up, but we managed to finally find a group to do it. It's kind of interesting because there are 4 different. There's like 4 zones with 4 maps in each, and it's random which zone you go to first. But the enemies are always the same, but they get a modifier every time you go from one zone to the other. So the first zone, everyone's at like regular. Second zone, they get like ×2 health. Third zone, they get ×2 health and ×2 damage. And then fourth zone's like ×2 health, damage, and accuracy. So it gets harder as you go on. And we were pretty unlucky that we got the hardest zone on the second area. So there are a couple of guys with grenade launchers that are just like almost unstoppable. The game plays like shit. It's an old game. There is no aim assist at all, basically. So it's all manual control. You kind of get used to it, but it just does not feel good to shoot. Enemies will just rush you. There's no real good tactics. It's just really grindy and boring. But once we basically got stuck on like the third or fourth zone of the second area or whatever was like the hardest ones. And once we got through those, we breezed through the rest of it.
Is it like Gears, like 360 horde kind of modes, or?
Kind of, yeah. Where it's like there's just like you have to do like 4 or 5 waves in a map. And then once you finish those 5 waves, you move over to a different map.
But like cover mechanics wise?
Yeah, so like Army of Two is very much like a Gears of War, but with modern military shooters.
Yeah.
Just with even more homoeroticism. Because you basically the whole main, again, the original game was very much like, you're dropping in like Afghanistan after like 9/11. Like it was very almost tasteless. Yeah, I was like, yeah. Where it's like you're these two like super bro douchebags, like fucking fist bumping shit all the time. It's got like a
mega chads.
Yeah, like mega chads, exactly. They kind of have like this slightly interesting mechanic where it's like you have like a morality system where it's like you do good things and bad things, and that changes morality and how things happened. And then you also have like how thumbs up you are with your partner. So like if you like do like a high five with them after a fight, then you like, that's good. But if you like smack them in the head and be like, you suck, then that's bad. I don't know why I think part of it was like you're in co-op and like you have to make decisions, but maybe you could make the opposite decisions as different characters. So like, I could just choose to do this, and like, if Charlotte was playing with me, she might do this. And so like we have like a conflict and we have to like fight or something. I don't know. But yeah, like it's kind of just like they wanted to do something a little bit different, and it didn't really work out all that well. But again, this is a game from like 2010 or something. So fucking who knows? The only other interesting thing is that it has a sort of flanking mechanic where, like Gears of War, it's like, you'll go around to the right and try and get behind them and shoot them. Whereas like this actually turns that into a mechanic where if you have a character who's doing most of the shooting, there's a bar that fills up, and once it gets higher, they're basically taking aggro, and so they take and deal more damage. But they'll draw the attention of the enemies, and then the other character will like start like glowing blue and like will become like partially invisible to indicate that they're basically in like a stealth mode, so the enemies aren't paying attention to them, and so they do more damage with like sneak attacks and stuff. It doesn't really work out all that well, but like it's kind of an interesting idea. And like so like you can put like a suppressor on one gun to make them more stealthy, and like a fucking flashlight on the other one, or like a big like fucking like a neon sign on your gun to draw attention from the enemies. But at the end of the day, it's use gun on man, repeat. So it's very, very basic. And the story is something about China. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, I got that done. So I have to do the rest of the multiplayer, but that should be a pretty easy grind. I just need to find 3 other schmucks who've started the game. Also finished up Crackdown 2. Had a session for that for one of the 4-player achievements for capturing 5 zones without getting out of a helicopter. Which is actually not too difficult, but just kind of needed some setup. And someone was like, hey, I have a save. I just need 3 other people to jump in the helicopter with me. So I did that, got it within like half an hour. And so I decided, well, I got that achievement, might as well finish up the rest of it. So it was, had to do I did basically just sit and do like their horde mode, score attack mode for like a couple hours, killing zombies to get to like 10,000 kills. Pretty boring, but easy enough. I'm glad to have that done. It's been sitting there for a long time. Also, I finally found some people to help me out with Syndicate. So this afternoon, I was reserved for a session this afternoon. I was reserved for the session yesterday as well, as Keo knows.
I was going to say, you know, the story.
Yeah, so I feel a bit bad. I feel bad about this, but so I was like, oh, Keo, yeah, let's do some Resident Evil stuff. I've been a reserve for a session, but we're like 45 minutes. They're 45 minutes into it, and they haven't messaged me. So like, whatever, we'll just jump onto it, right? As soon as I say, okay, let's go to Keo, they send me a message, be like, hey, the 4th guy hasn't shown up. I'm like, why are you telling me this now? Like, hey, could you jump in? I'm like, oh, fuck, okay. Well, I feel bad. I was like, okay, Keo, sorry, I need to go to this session because I did technically sign up for it. I jump in there, and they're like, okay, cool, what missions do you need? I'm like, I just need like the last 4 missions. I've done the first 5. We'll just get through it. I'm happy to do it now. They're like, yeah, cool. We've got a few early ones to do, but we can do them in reverse order, so you don't have to worry about the other ones. Like, that's great. And then suddenly like, oh, wait, no, actually, the guy showed up. Yeah, don't worry about it. See you later. And they basically just kicked me from the party. So I'm like, oh, all right. Well, hey, Keo, I feel really shitty about that. So let's do some Resident Evil 5. So
yeah, we never talked about that. I never mentioned it. So
yeah, so Resident Evil 5. So we decided to do a quick speed run of that because I've basically done all the main campaign. And Keo needed it, so I had the infinite rocket launcher, which I think you get for beating the game in under like 5 hours.
Yep. Yeah, which I got. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So we fucking smashed through that game. That game is a lot of fun where it's like you just like, you know, a horde of zombies run at you, just like, excuse me just a minute, just pull out a fucking massive rocket launcher, blow them away, and just keep running. Like I think we like a clear time was like maybe like 3.5 hours. Like we
Yeah, I didn't see the
smoked it.
time.
I
It was
think
quick.
it was real quick. But we had a good time. They only struggled in like one part with one of the boss fights, which is for another
Yeah,
achievement,
yeah.
which we got once we sort of figured out that we were basically doing it completely wrong. But Resident Evil 5 is a good game. Like, I don't know, what do you think here?
It's real solid. Like, it's something. It's one of the Resident Evils that like I really, really just gelled with completely. Just happy to play co-op like whenever with that one. So yeah. So I have gone and done the Desperate Escape now as well. So I've unlocked Pro for that. So we're gonna finish that off now too. So, but it's just one of those where the storytelling is just so bad, and there are elements of 4, but just built completely. It's like going from 4. I never actually played through 4. I need to do that. But it's like they took stuff from 4 and then put them in 5, and then in 6 they took stuff from 5 and tried to go the opposite way, but then just overcompensated.
Yeah, exactly,
completely.
Right? Like five feels like they slapped a co-op mode on it and just gave it some testosterone. And we're just gonna have a guy punching a fucking boulder here at the end of a big fight in a volcano. I'm like, all right, like that's fine. Like it's like Resident Evil is campy as hell, right? Like it takes itself seriously, but it is fucking the most ridiculous shit in the world. And like if you've played 8, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, 6 kind of they were like they had that, and they're like, okay, we're gonna make it even dark. We're gonna make it now. It's gonna be dark and gritty and really serious, but also it's gonna have like zombies in it again. But also it's going to have like a nemesis character. Like it was like, oh, we're just going to do a grab bag of every Resident Evil trope that we can think of and then it's the one that sold the best, which is the most depressing thing about it, is that it was not good and people bought it. So yeah, I don't know. But I'm keen to get back to Resident Evil 5, and once we do the DLC maps and that sort of stuff. We've already done the multiplayer, which again, thank you for that. But yeah, I really like the game. I know it got kind of, it's got a few raised eyebrows when it was, white man goes to Africa and massacres black zombies, but the first scene has you beating has the characters in the background beating an animal in a bag or something, and it's just like it's the first thing you see when you load up the mission. It's terrible, and you're like, man, Japan, like maybe pull it back, maybe check with some people before you do. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've been that bad since, but But yeah, like I had a really good time running through it. Like it was just a cool game to run through as well, just for fun. And it helps having an infinite rocket launcher and infinite magnum to sort of take care of any issues you come up with. And then so the guys hit me up again for Syndicate today, saying like the 4th guy couldn't make it. He had some issues with internet, so got all my last 4 missions done. And so now it's just a little bit of a grind for a couple of the challenges. I've got 4 challenges left. And basically, that just entails just running one of the same missions on hard over and over again to get enough kills of certain types of enemies. I had a run before this, and so I did it solo, so I know I can do it. So hopefully I'm going to get that done maybe this week, which would be great because I apparently started that game on the 13th of March, 2012. Jeez. So it's been in the backlog for a very long time.
So you're going to complete it on the 13th of March, 2022, right?
I might do. We'll see.
10-year anniversary.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll have to see if I can. We'll see how the rest of it goes.
Line it up.
And then because for part of the reason I was interested to play Syndicate was because we're doing a bit of a cyberpunk thing, and like there's nothing much more cyberpunk than Syndicate. To be fair, like you'd literally beat the enemies down, the boss enemies down, and then you take a chip ripping device and stick it in the back of the neck and take their fucking nanobots out of them, which is just fucking awesome. The whole game is so cool. People should definitely play it if they haven't. But yeah, I've also been playing Cyberpunk. So finally started that last night. I got through Act 1. And
which playthrough?
I'm doing Corpo.
Okay.
It doesn't really seem to matter. Like
no,
literally,
it doesn't. It's interesting, the backstory.
Yeah, just the backstory, right? And like the thing I like about it is like when the conversation options come up relevant to your thing, like it's really cool to be able to select Corpo and have him be like, actually, I know all about this shit. I'm like, oh, that's a nice thing. That's a thing that again that you would have in like D&D or like a tabletop game or something like that, where it's like it's like roll for this. He's like, oh well, I have this skill or this knowledge. Yeah. I'm enjoying it, but I really feel like the game doesn't start till after. I mean, the first act, the title drop is not till after the first act is finished. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah.
And so I've just finished the first act. I just met Keanu Reeves' character. The story is now starting basically, and now it's like, okay, where do I go from here? I'm not 100% sure. I'm probably gonna do some of the side stuff. I'm enjoying it. The gunplay doesn't feel as like snappy and tight as I was hoping that it would. It feels like an open world Deus Ex style game, right? Where it's like there's a lot of stealth. It's all first person. You have some hacking abilities, but it's got kind of a different. There aren't as many triangles as there are in Deus Ex. Basically, it's a lot more rundown and dirty. But I don't know. Like again, I've only been playing it for a night, so I don't. If we were doing a regular episode, I probably would have at least played a bit more. But hoping to play a bit more next week, and we'll probably have more to report as the weeks go on. I want to try and get it done this month for Cyber March.
It'd be good. It should be like one of those things that we do a spoiler cast for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's me this week. And that puts me at like 1,095. So yeah, not a huge amount. Charlotte.
Yeah.
You played some
I've only
games?
really I've gone back to a couple, but I've done 2 this week that I'll talk about. So one of them that I did in a night and completed was A Way Out. So Dio actually ran me through that, which is great. So that was really fun. We managed to go through most of the story really easy, and I was the one picking the options because he'd already played through it. So I was just like, I'll just pick whatever. Turns out I was picking all the opposite ones that he hadn't done.
Right. Oh,
which is quite cool. Yeah. The only issue I have with that game is the home run section.
Some of those mini games are a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Because I could not hit the ball for shit until I was given the proper motivation. And then suddenly I hit it within 3 tries.
Did you finish the entire game, or did you just get all the achievements and then call it?
She's gonna lie. So she only did the achievements.
That's
she
fine.
needs to go.
That's
she
the
needs to go back.
answer I was hoping for.
She needs to go back.
I was really tired. I'm gonna finish it.
Yeah, you should go back and do like the last half an hour or whatever.
Has a very interesting ending that I didn't get
Cameron,
to do.
shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up,
Please
Cameron.
don't spoil things.
Don't say anything, Cameron.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm not. I'm just.
All I was going to say is my co-op partner didn't watch it. Didn't want to do the rest of it.
Oh, well,
so I had to watch it on YouTube.
Oh, okay, that sucks. Okay, that really sucks.
Okay. I do want to finish it. I was very tired by the end of it.
Yeah. It's well worth finishing for sure.
Yeah. And the other game I have been running through is actually Fogs. Because I have it completed, but we're going to Valak the game, so I need to get it completed for Valak. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that should be pretty easy. We've started from scratch again and started from the start and just working our way through. It's not actually that hard. Like I feel like last time we ran into a lot more glitches and we paused a lot more.
We did. We took breaks and stuff. We didn't do a lot of long sessions. Also because we didn't know what the fuck we were doing, and we were also looking for all the collectibles and stuff. Like we didn't.
Yeah, and I was talking to Cameron about it, and he was like, "Oh, I'm sure it's like 20 hours." I was like, "No, it's under 10." Like our run was 9 hours.
Maybe
and 45
because
minutes.
I was thinking solo, but yeah.
Maybe it's much better when you're playing with someone else. But the fucking scissors, yes. My God, I hate those scissors. Well, because every time we try to go forward with them open, they just wouldn't go forward enough, and then we try and close them, and they wouldn't close properly.
Yeah.
We just need to cut the fucking thread.
Oh.
That's what I've been playing.
The game looked nice, but like I was...
Yeah. It's funny and it's cute, and you do get to run around and bark at things and change your hat and put a pizza on your head.
Yeah,
it's funny, but it all just depends on who you're playing with, because I could see how it would be very frustrating if you were playing by yourself. Whereas if you're playing with someone else and shit gets fucked up, you're like, I know.
Grab the ring. Grab the ring.
I mean,
grab my butt. I can't wait for that. That's going to be the best part. Like,
this is the kind of thing though. I'll play with Percy when she's a little bit older.
Yeah, that's
But at the same time, I don't want to be screaming at her. The fucking scissors.
No, what are you talking? She's going to be screaming at you. She's going to be like, "What the fuck are you doing, you old man?
What are you doing, Dad? What are you doing?"
God, I'm just waiting till I get to that age where it's just like Abe Simpson.
I
used to be Whip It, and then they changed what it was.
And it will happen to you. Yeah, and then she's gonna say this is totally not poggers, and then she's gonna do a Fortnite dance or some shit. I don't know.
Oh god.
It's these
This is
days.
a floss.
Damn Zoomers.
Yep. And that's
All right.
me.
Well, I guess we
Very
probably
nice.
do. We want to go into leaderboard then, Cameron? Have we had any
Yeah.
movement on the leaderboard?
So in third place we have Martel on 22,200.
Mm-hmm.
Second place we have Chapters on 40,395. And I must say, like 6 achievements unlocked in Elden Ring because he's trying to complete that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And then we have Valak trying to rush to 1 million like a crazy man with 59,350.
In a week.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. All right.
It's like everybody else is hitting 1 million. Why not me?
Yeah, pretty much, right? Charlotte only talks to millionaires apparently, so.
Apparently.
Funny.
And then for completion shoutouts, Charlotte, do you want to run through those?
Yes, let me just open it. Wait, hang on. No, it
Well-
won't open for me.
Well,
Alright.
okay. So we got
Alright.
Kruger with Drone Gladiator hitting first.
It was the first completion, which is very impressive.
Heavy Moogles did a Plague Tale Innocence, which I really want to go back to as well.
Great game.
Gamers ZZVL or Declan did Tabs and Be Siege. Audrey Lily did A Way Out. Michael did Far Cry 4. And Rapture did a lot of baby games.
Pretty much. I might actually just keep that in the template because I don't think that's going to change week to week.
No, it's... I mean, we add something in if he does a difficult completion like Forza Horizon 5 again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's, yeah, pretty much that. Community questions?
Yep, let's do it.
You want to take the next one?
Yeah, so we got one here from Isaac. It says, "Hey guys, which is better to you? A game adding a few paid DLCs with achievements, or a game with numerous free title updates with achievements? Basically, what's more important to you, your time or your money? Thanks for the show." My time is much more important to me than my money, because I waste so much of it, or both, actually, to be fair. But the thing is, like, the only things I spend money on are outside of like rent and bills, are like video games and food. So, like literally, yeah, it's like video games and food, and like I don't even buy video games that often. I usually just play Game Pass stuff. So it's usually fucking Uber Eats. So like I usually have a little bit of way that I can be like, yeah, like if I can get a DLC pack and it's like a short, interesting experience, and I don't mind paying for it. Like I'm usually happy to pay for experiences, as long as they're reasonable. Again, I know like Square Enix tends to take the piss a little bit with their DLC, but yeah, I'll pretty much always go for that option. But again, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter for me because achievements are achievements. I have to do them whether title updates or DLC.
I mean, as long as they're not doing the Rebellion model, I'm usually pretty happy.
Agreed.
Like, just don't take this shit with like multiple. If you're going to do one season pass in part of a digital edition, leave it at one season pass, unless it's like 3-4 years down the track and the roadmap's clearly already been done.
Yeah, and you've gone back to it.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like Borderlands kind of does. I mean, even they've gotten a bit too much with it with the third game, but yeah.
I think it's just like, let's get away with murder and then...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a good paid experience is better. Like, you find with the free stuff, like, you just end up playing the game a second time or a third time for no reason after you've completed the game, just because they've added new achievements
a
for
new
no
difficulty
reason.
mode or a score attack or some, like, basically some sort of non-new gameplay thing.
I get annoyed, though, when it's something that I actually want to go back to. Like, that could be a cool title update. For example, like Moving Out had Moving In, which I mean is kind of the same game, but I'm like, if there was a title update for 500 gamer score to go and do a few certain levels, I'd go back and do it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
It depends on the content.
Yeah, and I think it's so content focused, right? Like and like, to be honest, most DLC content is shit.
The worst stuff is the stuff where you have to actually have a save file, or it was built into a game and then you had to go back to it. Like Final Fantasy 15 added the updates, and I'd played through the whole thing and I was done with the game, except for the DLC. I'm going to do that this year, but I have to play the game again. So
yeah, Yeah, it's well, I think they added chapter stuff, but again,
chapters, yeah, but there's some collectibles that are littered through
Exactly.
the game that they added after.
yeah, so you basically need to go replay it, which sucks.
My mind's immediately drawn to Ubisoft with the South Park games. Like that was DLC I actually really wanted to experience, but it's like I'm not going to go buy a DLC if it doesn't have achievements tied to it.
Yeah, I mean, like I might still buy it, right? But like it would have to be something really good or something like I'm really invested in story wise. Whereas like I enjoyed the gameplay and like I enjoyed the story of the South Park games, but like it wasn't like, you know, if Nier Automata came out with a DLC that was really interesting story related. I mean, actually, maybe the best example of this is like the Life is Strange games. They've had extra story DLCs that have had no achievements, and those are really interesting just because I love those universes and I'm interested in learning more about those characters. So like things can overcome, you know, my achievement addiction, but it needs to be something pretty significant.
See, the problem with that though is I merely just go like, why not just work on a grindy achievement and put it up a YouTube video of it? Yeah. If I'm not, you know, I may as well save the $20, watch through the content, because if it was like, for example, the South Park game, realistically, I'm only there for the cutscenes and that.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very, very good point. Yeah, if they don't have achievements, I mean, like, there are only so much time and so much money that we all have, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think, Char? I don't know. Have you encountered much of this stuff now that you're getting into a wider swath of video games?
Well, like, because before, when I first started doing Control, I did buy the DLC because it went on special. So thinking, well, I don't need to actually buy the base game because it's still in Game Pass. So I did actually buy the DLC because I actually enjoyed the game.
Right.
I think I'd pay for it if it was worth it. Otherwise, I wouldn't really be that invested in it. Yeah.
Yeah, like if the Control DLC didn't have achievements, would you have bought it?
Yeah, no.
Right. And that's kind of the thing, right? It's like, yeah, it's
time is money in that regard.
Yeah. Too much other shit to play.
Yeah.
But I've got no problem with title updates.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part.
Yeah, like
unless they come out like a day after you've just done it.
I mean,
I like to know. I like to know if they're a possibility. Because I like to know. It's okay. This game I probably have to. I'll keep installed because there's going to be a lot to it. This game is completely done. Don't worry about it. Fine, great. Because like for example, like I did Immortals, right? That DLC is great. I really enjoyed all. Like the 3 different DLCs are quite different. I enjoyed all of them, some more than others, but still, like I had a really good time with them. But like I don't like. Then as far as I'm aware, they're not going to do any more content for that game itself. I can close the book on that. Done. Had a great experience. Gave them the money they asked for. I got it on a discount, 75% off. So sweet, easy, done. Like it's basically, if the DLC is on sale, I'm going to pick it up.
Cool.
Got another couple of questions here. Mike has asked, what recent game have you started that you regret?
all of them. Because it means that I have to work on something when I should be studying and finishing up the last 4 projects in my course.
I'm just.
Can it not be a recent one?
Yeah, like again, like not recent ones.
Yeah.
He said recent.
I know he said recent, yeah.
So
otherwise I'd say Night in the Woods.
Right, yeah, that's not a
I mean, like, going with that logic, I could say anything that's part of Game Pass for me. But at the same time, it got me a Series X and a hoodie and a trophy, so it's like...
I can't think of anything like recently, like all of my stuff.
Oh no, I've thought of one.
I like going back. I'm like looking at my list of like things that I have to play. I'm like, man, why did I start this? And it's like, past me was a dick, but like it's all like, it's like mostly like non-backwards compatible stuff, like fucking Zoo Tycoon on the 360. Like why did I like Connect Adventures on 360? Why did I start Wolfenstein 2? Why did I start Army of 2 now that I can't finish it?
Escape Sequence?
I haven't played Escape Sequence.
Like I could say Elden Ring, but like at the same time, I'm just taking Elden Ring slowly.
Like we Happy Few might be the only one that I've been like, this is really bad.
Actually,
but
that's
yeah.
Like it's I knew it was going to be like not great, but it was way worse than I thought.
You know what? I've got the perfect example. It was this amazing studio that developed a lot of my favorite kid games, like back in the day. Some of the first experiences I played on console were from these from the studio. They then decided that they were going to do a nice little pirate game, didn't they?
Right. Yeah, Sea of Thieves. Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
I swear, every single time I log into that game, I'm on the main island. I look around. I try to the only known location is how to get to my ship. That's the only thing I know how to do. I've talked to the NPCs.
Can you not read a map?
You know what? The thing that I ended up doing was I played the game for the fishing. I haven't done anything in that game except for the fishing. Go out, level up my fishing. That's it. I can't do anything else. I mean, I'd love to, do some pirating, but so that's why I didn't get into it. So I just every single time it was just difficult to, have a direction without anyone else there, to play with, I guess. So
I regret starting the Guardians of the Galaxy on launch, not knowing about the collectibles.
Yeah.
And I regret what was the other one? The Gunk. Same.
Oh right,
Same thing because of getting soft locked.
Yeah. That's why I'm.
But I mean, usually I don't care really.
Yeah, you don't.
Yeah, fair. I regret Who's Your Daddy?
Yeah, just in general.
Just in general.
Yeah.
Come on, that's
because I can't unlock achievements. But I can't unlock achievements.
Well, you
That
can't.
is so funny.
Yeah, it's fucked at the moment, but that's fine. I've found a solution, so.
Yeah. The actually one that ties in with the last question, the one that's I just noticed on my list, Indivisible.
Oh, that's it, yeah.
I really wish I hadn't started that because I didn't enjoy it.
How are you meant to know?
How am I meant to know, right? Because there was no way of knowing. I was like, this is a side-scrolling Metroidvania RPG. It has a complete story. It's probably not going to have any content, right? That's it. It's done. Cool, they're done with it. And they put out a fucking title update with broken achievements that they never fixed. And I didn't even enjoy the game that much. I much preferred. I did my second playthrough on the PC, and that doesn't have the DLC, which is great. Yeah. And that game was a lot better going through it the second time, understanding the mechanics a bit better. But I didn't really like that game. I didn't enjoy the game. I got this DLC that I can't finish. It's also
might not even ever be fixed because of legal issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of those ones that's where Game Pass bit me in the ass because it was a cool game that I wanted to try, and I just got fucked on it.
I mean, going back to probably 2 years ago, a lot of the PC titles, especially, were having unobtainables all the time. Yeah. There was so many games that I was so I don't care about completion. But I always have that mentality going into a game that I should be completable.
Yeah.
So starting games that had either discontinued or unobtainable achievements on my tag still hurt a little. Probably not as much as it would to you, but...
Yeah, I get what you mean. It's just knowing that you just can't do it no matter what. No matter how good you get at the game, no matter how many people you get together. I've got Ghost Recon on my account, right? That's one I wish I never started, but it is still technically completable. If I buy 10 360s, copies of the game, and gold for a year, and just run the thing for 6 months straight, I could potentially get those achievements. Even I have my limits, right? But the possibility's there.
The only reason you haven't done that though is because it's a better use of your time. Stallion's exactly the same. How he used to talk about it at the end of the day. He worked on stuff seriously, but it's all he could think about after was so many hours that I could have devoted to other stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of where I'm at. Sorry, what were you saying here?
Oh, I've got a couple that were just they're not regrets or anything like that, but it's just silly decisions not going online to check a leaderboard in Lips that I could have totally just have done. Okay. Because I was playing the game before it went down and could have just logged in and done it. Was it Darksiders 1? I was playing it the day that it was up randomly, a few years ago. It came up randomly 2. For Darksiders 2. Yeah, for a day to get that one buddy achievement for sending a gift. And I didn't know what the area was to go to, and that there was one at the start of the game. I didn't even think I was up to that point. So other than that, I don't regret anything really. I do silly things like start a second character in Final Fantasy 14. So I'm not worried about any of that stuff. I downloaded Warframe yesterday So you can kind of get where I'm at. I don't really care. My
Yeah.
time is whatever. So
Warframe's great. I'll talk about it a bit more.
I've heard good things. I mean, to be fair, my Master Chief Collection might get added to this list quite shortly. I'm not going to say anything more about that quite yet, but
It'll be fine.
yeah,
It'll
we'll
be
see.
fine.
I mean, you finished it, right? So how hard could it be?
I'll start doing all the stuff that you hate.
Great, wonderful.
We'll get Dishonored DLC out of the way. We'll do Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah. But yes, to your point, Nicky, I have the same thing with Army of 240th Day, where there was an achievement for getting making a custom mask on their website and then downloading it to the game. And like I played the game when it came out, I could have done that, but I just never. I was like, I didn't look at the achievement, never thought about it. Website's gone now. Just like it doesn't even redirect anywhere. It's just a dead link.
Yep.
So,
Online achievements should be the first thing you focus on in a game these days.
Yeah, but they're actually the last thing for that game. I've done everything else.
Yep.
What else do we have? Valakab, what's your most painful co-op experience? Charlotte and I probably have the same answer. So yes, I ninja probably. That was fuck. That was painful.
Yeah,
that was really.
That was
painful.
the worst.
Especially considering
platforming. Oh my god.
Especially considering we weren't sure because the achievements are so glitchy, we weren't sure that if we quit out, if it was going to save or not.
Yeah.
And if we'd have to redo the whole thing, so we did the entire game in one sitting.
Jeez.
Yeah, we just did not leave we left the game running the whole entire time.
Fuck, that game is bad. It is so bad. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm glad I'm done with it. It was one of those ones that, like again, local
I could have lived
only.
without that experience. Thank you.
Yeah, local co-op only, but fuck me, those side-scrolling platforming sections. Just
anything that doesn't checkpoint, you have to do in a full run. It's just rubbish.
Yeah. And like, I remember all the achievements like you have beated level 1. I was like, okay, great. That's the caliber of game we're going for here. So I think that's probably my most painful co-op experience. I probably got several with my brother back in the day on like the old PlayStation, on the old 360 days, where it's like dragging him through some sort of thing where I'm like, hey, this is local co-op only. I just need you to not die. And he would just not be on his fucking phone, texting his fucking, hockey buddies or whatever the fuck he does. And just wasting time. Like, hey, fucking pay attention.
Trying to have a real life with somebody spending their time playing video games.
Exactly. I'm like, hey, we're having a bonding experience here, in that I bonded you to this game until you fucking we're done with it and you can leave. So yeah, I think we did like Gears of War, like the original Gears of War, and insane difficulty and that kind of stuff.
Jeez.
But yes, like pulling teeth.
2 I can think of is doing Halo MCC with Dom, doing Halo 2 specifically because
Painful
of the
for
Iron
him.
Skull.
Painful
No,
for
it
him,
was painful for both of us because of the Iron Skull, because just the internet connection between both of us. All the other games are fine.
Yeah, right.
And then just hearing Steven whine about hitting percentage. Oh, you're gonna help me until I hit like 85% or whatever it was. It's just like, mate, I helped you 6 fucking months. You can do some of it yourself.
That desperate escape stuff that we did here was a little bit painful. Wasn't too bad, but.
And bring it back to Dead Island, like connecting to anybody, I could not connect. Like doing 5 missions in Dying Light, I think, with the same people.
And then you have to do them with 5 different. You have to be a player now with like 5 different people.
Yeah, and actually staying connected just wasn't working. And connecting to New Zealand is just like.
Just emotionally, internet-wise, like there's just all kinds of issues.
A lot of emotional baggage there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fair enough.
They charge you extra to bring it with you. And then the last question we got here is something about ordering pizza. Yeah, no, it's fine.
That was already asked earlier in the show.
Yeah,
That's fine. We can skip it.
We're good. Word challenge. Fuck,
Word challenge.
Okay, so I have not solidified it on a hint yet, so I'm going to basically pick one now. This game, okay, so previous hints were actually, I'm going to check them now, but before I fuck it up.
It was ported.
Yes, it's a game that was ported, so it's not the original release of the game.
Yep.
It's part of a franchise. It has multiple playable characters, and the port, again, I'm trying to figure out how to phrase this, but the port game has like a subtitle. So, for example, like Resident Evil 4, when it was ported, it's still just called Resident Evil 4, right? Or maybe like Resident Evil, but it's like, this is like, the example, any example I give would be
it's partially changing.
Go
the
and give an
name.
example.
it has
There
a
was a-
different. Yeah, the
was a
port
subtitle.
the port has like a slightly different name from the original release. I'll say that.
So it'd be the same as like re-releasing a game on Switch and calling it the Ultra Edition.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
something.
Calling it the Ultra Edition or
Yeah.
the Definitive Edition or
And-
something like that.
You have to have the full title.
It has to be the full title. It has to be the exact because otherwise it won't trigger the bot. That's not me
So
being
if
finicky.
you're Googling, copy and paste.
Yes, copy and paste it. Yes.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I have not seen too many guesses. Okay, so Valak has automatically guessed X-Men Arcade. It is not that, but that's good thought. But I'm interested. People need to read the clues. That's all I'm saying. Is that it's in the clues. It is. People are getting narrower and narrower, and there have been a couple of good guesses, but some of them are still way off.
That one I told you the other day, I was so fucking sure of it.
It was a good guess. It was a really good guess, but it's not the answer. But no, that was good thought. But yeah, the port title one is probably going to narrow it down quite a bit.
Yeah.
Patreon, Cameron, who have we? You want to shout
Do you
out?
want to talk about
Patreon?
LCA and then I'll call them
Yeah,
out?
sure. So, Lights, Camera, and Action, for those who don't know, is a show that we do exclusively for our patrons. It's where Charlotte and I force Cameron to watch movies. At the moment, we're doing video game movies, and we've just finished recording the first part of the next, what is probably going to be the worst movie we watched so far, which is saying something. Resident Evil Apocalypse, which is the second Resident Evil movie. Holy fuck, it looks bad. It looks like a parody. It looks like a porn parody. The costumes are bad.
I'd agree. Yep.
The acting is bad. The CG is awful.
Yeah.
I was half expecting Evan Stone to come out with his dick swinging. Like, it was unbelievably bad when we watched that trailer. So we got that to look forward to. We're going to watch that probably. I mean, we'll probably watch it when Charlotte's up here actually. So we can do a movie night. That'll be good. We usually try and get one of those out once a month at least. So that'll be our movie for March. So look forward to that if you're a Patreon. If you aren't a Patreon, you can join us patreon.com/Hall of Gamers. Give us some money. There's like 3 different tiers.
There's 3 tiers, yep.
We
I
basically
feel
give
like
all
Charlotte does a better elevator pitch than you. Sorry, buddy.
I'm sorry. Yes, Charlotte. Charlotte, you can go ahead. What do you got?
Well, you get to come and listen to me on LCA, so there's that. But also, the cheapest tier is like $2. It's like less than a cup of coffee, and that's for a month. It's worth it. And you can go in the drawer for a game.
And not to be like a Twitch streamer that complains about $5 subs. You're getting all this free content out of us.
Well, I sub on both, so.
Yeah,
That's true. I'm not touching that one.
Fair point.
Um,
In terms of Patrons,
Yes.
quickly shouting out, we've got Mad Lefty, we've got G Spaceman, Admiral Awesome, Keo. Hey, look, he's on the show. I mean, if any of our other
hello.
patrons might want to come
Yeah.
on the show, we could organise it. Cool. Moogle356, Kung Fu Skills, Hawkeye Barry, Hackapone, Cavalier07, Mr. Old Mate Clown, Mark B, and Mick Lovin Legend. Thank you all for supporting us. We really appreciate it.
and Charlotte, of course.
Oh, and Charlotte, of course. But I mean, she's on the show.
She's on the
Yeah.
Oh,
show.
she's also on the show. Oh my god.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Right. She's
I don't need thanks, but I am a Patreon.
being a patron opens all kinds of doors to the Hall of Gamers cinematic universe. We also do a competition for our patrons. Cameron, you want to run through that?
Yeah, so we do a competition where essentially the community picks I pick 4 games that I think are really interesting. I don't think they come in a Game Pass, so you've got more of a chance. And they're relatively newer games, cooler indies. They just look interesting. So out of the 4 that we had, it was between The Longest Road, Dismantle, Vigante, and Distilled Ampule. I always screw up the word.
Ampule.
Distilled Ampule. Now, there was a freeway tie, so I decided to spin the wheel on it, and we have Distilled Ampule.
Yep. Okay.
I then drew the patrons, and we have Cavalier07.
Congrats, mate. Get in contact with Cameron to get your game.
Hit me up.
As we said, there are multiple tiers. We do give all the content away to even the lowest tiers at $2, like Charlotte said. But the contest, you do get extra entries the more tiers you have. So,
Yep.
you know, if you're tier 1, you get 1 entry, tier 2, 2, 3, 3. It's pretty basic. But we do really appreciate all our patrons. We literally could not do the show without them. We basically break even on all the contests and the giveaways and that sort of stuff, and paying for equipment and software. So, yeah, like...
What goes into the show, I like to give back to... want to give back the same level.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So like, we certainly aren't fucking retiring on a stolen Russian yacht. Not yet. Anyway.
Not getting paid yet.
Yeah. To be fair, if you see me with a tan, then you know we're making too much on Patreon. You like that's
Then you can scale it back. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Then you can send the IRS after me because clearly something is going on. But that's pretty much going to bring us to the end of the show. If you want to get in contact with us, you can find us on the Discord, discord.io/HallofGamers. Basically, Discord's a big chat room where you can come hang out with us, talk to us and our community, talk about video games, do memes, talk about serious stuff. There's a lot of stuff about Ukraine in there at the moment. That's where we do the word challenge. We've got a special channel for our patrons. It's also a great place to ask questions for the show because it helps us keep them all in order and we make sure we don't miss any. Otherwise, you can always join us on the Twitch. Like we said, Hall of Gamers Pod is the URL. And if you want to guess in some other ways, hallofgamerspodcast@gmail.com is our email address, and @hallofgamerspod is our Twitter.
And also TikTok now, which I haven't inserted into the slide.
Yes, TikTok, Cameron. What is our TikTok?
We have a TikTok now. It's just called Hall of Gamers Pod. It's just clips of old episodes of the podcast. If you really want to go back and watch some funny clips, like CJ mentioning being a degenerate and handing back Japanese rated games into eBay. And then being turned away, so he just bought some Lego and left.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was a pretty story, though. That was a funny story.
It was a very funny
story.
There's also the explanation to Alex and the breakfast.
Yes.
There's so many in jokes. I'm just uploading them all to TikTok, so whenever somebody says, like, this is the third time you had Alex on, and he keeps on going about this breakfast? Like, what do you mean? I can just go look at the TikTok. It'll take you 5 minutes. You'll catch up.
Exactly.
It's the memory vault.
If you want to help us out in other ways, subscribe to us on your platform of choice, retweet our tweets, that sort of stuff. Leave us a review, tell your friends. Word of mouth, as always, is the biggest thing for our show. I try to cram it into every boosting session I do. And otherwise, that's pretty much going to bring us to the end. Cameron, if people want to find you, where can you be found?
Shadowless Edge and pretty much everything, or Hall of Gamers Pod on TikTok now, apparently.
Cool. Charlotte, what about you?
I'm usually under Charmander. At the moment, I have changed a few of my Discord names. Just look for Char. That's where I'll be. On Twitter, I have the Audrey Lily 8292. Same for Xbox, Audrey Lily 8292. Otherwise, just fuck off. Don't talk to me.
Fair, yeah. Keo, you're a very social individual. Where can people find you?
So at this stage, Twitter, Keo Live at Home, and Twitch as Keo Live at Home as well. So as you can see on the screen. But other than that, there may be a few more things coming. But you could go there for following.
Fantastic. And if you want to find me, it's Neomaster on everything, True Achievements, Xbox, and Discord. Yes, it is a Cyberpunk name already. I do not need to change it for March. We will see you guys next week. Thank you, everybody.
But I'm not sure. Is it Nestmaster or Neomaster or Neomaster or...
Neomaster.
All right. That's it. Cut the feed.
Bye.
Rip the chip.